This week, I attended a talk given by Nemonte Nenkimo, an Indigenous Waorani leader committed to defending her ancestral territory and her people's survival in the Amazon rainforest. She comes from a country, Ecuador, where there are oil reserves in lands occupied by indigenous people, but where their president, who came to COP26 and spoke about the need to invest in green energy and the need for a just transition, went home and made two executive decrees. First, to double oil extraction, and second, to greatly expand mining before they're forced to attend to any of the indigenous people's rights and issues. It reminded me of what Clover Hogan, the young activist, said at COP26 when she reflected on the absence of young people in the discussion. They weren't invited. The doors were closed to them. And Nemonte made the same comment because there were very few indigenous people in Glasgow. So we're in a system that, whilst it bemoans the injustices that are being committed against these people and the oncoming effects of global warming, actually, nothing is really changing. Nothing that fundamentally needs to change is changing. Clover Hogan called for every organization, every company, every business, whatever they do, to have as part of their purpose a focus on mitigating climate change. Can you do this? There are many companies whose leaders wring their hands and say, oh, it's terrible, but they don't want to accept that they might have to change. So the question really is, do we stand on the sidelines or do we take action? What is the action that I, as an individual, I, as a leader in an organization, can take to protect the indigenous people, because it's they who are living the way that we all need to live, which is in harmony with nature? What can we do to mitigate climate change? Because the only way to do this is to live in relation with nature. And if we're going to do that, we've got to stop doing a lot of things. And we've got to start doing other things. And it's probably not going to be comfortable because it means changing. And we may not make quite as much money. But what do you think? What role do you want to play in this? I would say game, but it's not a game because it's so serious. As the saying goes, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. To my view, it's about setting priorities. If we don't set this out as a priority, the situation will develop until we're forced to make it a priority, at which time, rather like COVID, we'll be forced into some uncomfortable constraints. And yes, this isn't easy because leaders are under such pressure to attend to so many things today. Working from home, Black Lives Matter, gender pay gap, mental well-being, and so on. It's hard, but we have, at the very least, to make conscious decisions about these issues in the context of running the business. Right now, we're living in a society which does not love itself. It abuses itself, and we abuse ourselves. We are players in that abuse. We have to change. Please check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, and find ways to play your part in protecting the Amazon rainforest and its beautiful inhabitants, and in so doing, make a difference to your world and your children's world. My name is Tom Dennis. I'm the CEO of Serenity and Leadership, and I'll see you next time.